A joint admissions agreement between Holyoke Community College and Western New England University signed today at HCC, and that's just one of our stops today as we go town by town. The agreement is intended to strengthen existing academic and student support partnerships, facilitate student access to education, and provide barrier-free movement from the associate's degree to bachelor's and graduate degrees for students enrolled at HCC. Town by town taking us now to West Springfield. Wilder Terrace and Johnson Street are being repaved as part of the town's annual street maintenance program. These streets are among some of those that the town has coordinated with Eversource as part of their plans to replace aging cast iron pipes. The town has a road cutting moratorium that carries heavy fees for the first 5 years following paving. By allowing Eversource to replace its pipes prior to paving, the company avoids those fees and the risk of gas main leaks requiring street trenching is reduced. Finally, Town by Town takes us to a career fair held this morning at STEM Middle Academy in Springfield. Several different companies and organizations from various industries were on hand at the school for grades 6th, 7th, and 8th. Western Mass News had a booth at the fair as well today. We offer tips and information that could help a young future media leader.